Welcome to our channel. How to convert a visitor visa to a work permit Canada in 2024-2025. Transitioning from a visitor's visa to a work permit in Canada involves a change in your immigration status, allowing you to stay and work in the country legally. This process has been designed to support both the Canadian job market and individuals seeking employment opportunities. The temporary policy implemented during COVID-19 was extended on February 28, 2023 to continue to allow visitors to apply for work permits while in Canada until February 28, 2025. The traditional process dictated that applicants would need to apply for their initial work permit before entering the country. If an applicant was already in Canada as a visitor when their work permit was approved, they were required to leave the country to be issued the actual work permit. However, the extended policy negates the necessity for departure, making the transition from visitor to work permit holder a much smoother process. Eligibility criteria. To qualify for this temporary public policy and take advantage of the streamlined transition process, applicants must meet specific eligibility requirements. These include valid visitor status. The applicant must have a valid visitor status in Canada on the day of their work permit application. Valid job offer. The job offer must be supported by a Labour Market Impact Assessment, LMIA, or an LMIA exempt offer of employment. This ensures that the hiring is consistent with Canada's economic needs. Application deadline. Applicants must submit their application for an employer-specific work permit no later than February 28, 2025, in order to benefit from this extended policy. Admissibility criteria. All other standard admissibility criteria must be met, including health and security checks. Guide to transitioning from visitor's visa to work permit in Canada. Step 1. Explore job opportunities. Before you can transition to a work permit, you'll need a job offer from a Canadian employer. Start by researching industries that interest you and align with your skills. 1. Job bank. 2. LinkedIn jobs, but online job boards such as Indeed. 4. Provincial job banks such as Sask Jobs. 5. Professional networking events and conferences. 6. Job fairs such as the Canadian Immigrant Job Fair. Step 2. Secure a job offer. Once you've identified a suitable job opportunity, you need to secure a valid job offer. The job offer should be supported by a Labour Market Impact Assessment, LMIA, or be LMIA exempt. An LMIA assesses the impact of hiring a foreign worker on the Canadian job market, basically confirming that there was no qualified Canadian or permanent residents to fill the job. Step 3. Gather required documents. Collect all the necessary documents for your work permit application. These typically include 1. A valid passport. 2. The job offer letter, LMIA, if applicable. 4. Proof of sufficient funds to support yourself. 5. Travel history. 6. Police clearance certificate. 7. Proof of ties. 8. Medical examination results if required. 9. Other relevant documents based on your unique situation. Step 4. Apply for a work permit. With your documents in order, you can submit an online application through the IRCC portal. Do you have questions about applying for a work permit? Book a work permit consultation to speak with one of our consultants. With Canadian immigration applications, there are no guarantees on the outcome of the decision. The visa officer, upon review of your application, makes the final decision based on their review of your application. Therefore, you should always ensure you package a strong and convincing application. Step 5. Application decision. Processing times vary, so it's advisable to apply well in advance of your intended start date. Please check the processing time for your application. With a positive decision, you will be required to submit your passport for stamping and the issuance of your work permit. Should the decision be unfavorable, it will be important to request the GCMS note to better understand the reason for the refusal and properly plan a reapplication. Is it possible to convert a visitor visa to a work permit in Canada? Yes, it is possible. Foreign visitors in Canada with valid job offers can now apply for work permits without having to leave, thanks to a temporary policy extension until February 28, 2025. 1. Apply for a visitor visa, TRV. The first logical step to convert a visitor visa to a work permit in Canada is to become a Canadian visitor. You need to understand the following requirements before applying for a visitor visa, temporary resident visa, TRV, for Canada. Getting a job offer and an LMIA. After you enter Canada, you have limited time to apply for a job and get a positive LMIA. Not to mention, getting a job offer is an extremely difficult process in itself. So it is better that you do your homework properly. Let's explain this point in detail. 3. Converting visitor visa to work permit in Canada. New temporary policy. After you get a positive LMIA from a Canadian employer, you can apply for a work permit from inside Canada. On February 28, 2023, IRCC announced that foreign nationals currently in Canada on a visitor visa and who have a valid job offer would continue to be able to apply for and receive a work permit without having to leave the country. The temporary public policy has been extended by 2 years until February 28, 2025. What is flagpoling? After the temporary policy expires, you have to go through a process called flagpoling. In this temporary, visitors must go out of Canada through the US border, apply for a work permit and then re-enter Canada. Using the flagpole process to activate a new Canadian work permit is legal. However, it is important to be truthful and provide accurate information during the process. Giving false information can lead to serious consequences. Please consult an immigration expert before attempting to flagpole or change your immigration status. 4. Interim authorization to work. We have discussed how to convert a visitor visa to a work permit in Canada. Now let's understand how interim work authorization works. If you apply for a work permit in Canada while under visitor status, you must wait approximately 135 days to receive it. This means that you cannot work until your work permit is approved. IRCC addressed this problem through an interim authorization to work. With that, you can obtain this authorization to work quickly. You can start working immediately if you have received an employer-specific job offer. It was introduced to address labor shortages, though it is not automatic. Transitioning from a visitor's visa to a work permit in Canada opens doors to exciting career opportunities and the chance to experience the country's rich culture and vibrant communities. And sometimes the processes may be a lot more complicated, and that's why we are here to help you figure it out. Thanks for joining me on this journey through the IRCC news. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more videos exploring the latest advancements and insights in the latest news. For more information contained in the content of this video, www.immigration.ca and w.infoplacecanada.ca.